has it written in his contract that he takes off. That has always been the deal. And I come in as a pinch hitter. And I'm going to grab that 33 Louisville Slugger and try to go deep right here on a Christmas Eve alongside Hayes Carline and J.J. LaSelva. No place I'd rather be than Duval on a Christmas Eve.
That's right. How are you?
Man, I'm great.
Ready? Yeah.
Are you kidding me? In
Here we go.
T-minus 3 hours, I'll be at the Blue Crab House. They're going to have to throw me out of there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? Yeah. Oysters and crab legs, and I'm going to go with the old school ugly Miller Lite sweater, which is always my go-to on Christmas Eve. The GF is a DD. She's going to want some iced tea, and that'll be it. So
fantastic.
Big party last night.
Oh, yeah?
Really, I got this new massage chair.
How about that?
For Christmas. And, JJ, you can appreciate this. Last night, after several, there were these new, let me find it. It was a crown, a flavored crown shot.
Like apple or maple is another very popular one this time of year.
We pulled off.
I'm a fan of all of them.
We finished the bottle. It was salted caramel.
Whoa.
Okay. Spectacular. So what I did is I drank like 14 Miller Lights, had 5 or 6 shots of salted caramel Crown Royal. And on the brand new massage chair, I sat in it, fired up a joint, and stared at the stars. How's that?
Why did you get your gift already?
That's the way my GF rolls. You know, she's like, listen,
when I buy it, I give it.
Well, she had to have someone come in and
install it,
put it together and all that. So, I mean, I am pretty oblivious. There's a good chance that maybe I wouldn't have recognized it, but I end up.
That's a great gift.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson would love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, it is Christmas Eve in Duval, and the setting will be Sunday at 1 o'clock. We'll have that for you right here in game. Certainly pregame, postgame, beginning with Hayes and Mia early in the morning. Tennessee now favored by 1 point.
Oh, Mason Rudolph.
39.5. It is. It was announced today by Brian Callahan. It's going to be Mason Rudolph, Mac Jones, your total 39.5, which I do think is the lowest NFL total in the history of the game.
It certainly it certainly could be because the Titans actually have a pretty good defense. I mean, again, they should have won the first meeting 12-10. I mean, Brian Callahan just decided, like all these coaches do now, that a field goal isn't good enough. I've got to go for it, even though I've got a terrible quarterback. And it cost them 6 points, and they lost to 10-6. So, I don't think the Jaguars are going to do much. And the Jaguar defense obviously is terrible, but it's hard to expect Mason Rudolph to do a ton. Mm-hmm. So I think I'd take the under there.
Yep, no doubt about it. And again, folks, get there early. An expected sellout crowd for this matchup, which is really week 2 of the Tankathon. It was certainly prevalent a weekend ago in Las Vegas, or just 3 days ago in Vegas. But right now, if you look at it, Jacksonville sits third in the NFL draft with a record of 3-12. Their strength of schedule is .482. Tennessee right behind them at 3-12. Their strength of schedule is .514. So obviously the loser of this game. And, I understood this. It became quite controversial, Hayes, when they played in Tennessee a few weeks ago. I think because of the rivalry and the fact that, let's face it, Jacksonville's lost 17 of their last 21. They've lost 7 of their last 8. Their only win was at Tennessee. I got why the fans wanted to win a game like that on the road. I think that's over now. The most important part, and I hate to say it, but the most important part of the Jaguars now is to get as high as you possibly can in the NFL draft. I would hate to beat Tennessee and have that cost you Travis Hunter as opposed to picking up a meaningless win here in late December.
Yeah, that's the thing. And look, losing to the Titans hurts the Titans. So that's why you should pull for it. It was one thing when it was the Jets or, but now with 2 games left, I mean, by losing to the Titans, you're beating the Titans. And so it's the way it goes when you're playing these meaningless games. And I give a lot of credit to the fans that are going to go on Sunday and pull for the Jaguars. I mean, you guys are pure of heart. and I admire that. But from a realistic standpoint, from a what's better for the organization long term, it's to lose these last two games. I mean, again, you'd like to think you're going to come out of this draft with someone between Travis Hunter, Mason Graham, Will Johnson, Abdul Carter. You're going to get one of those four guys.
Really good football players right there.
Yeah, and if you
Carter was great this weekend.
Absolutely. I mean,
he was outstanding.
And obviously that's an argument of, do you take an edge player? Well, you have to hope at some point that smart decisions are made, and they really should be playing Trayvon Walker inside more. Obviously, Armstead is a defensive tackle. If he's back, there's no chance he plays end again next year. I can't imagine that. But yeah, I mean,
you're not going to upset the Walter Payton Man of the Year candidate by telling him to move inside?
Well, that was a stipulation in his contract that he had to be the Walter Payton nominee. And so in looking at it, that's the thing now is they could fall. Mathematically they could fall somewhere between 9 and 10. And look, it's the early buzz is that it's about a 6-player draft in terms of great prospects, and then there's going to be a drop off where number 7 through number 40, there's probably not a huge difference. Now that can change, and obviously you still have to go through the testing part of it, but the important part, their film is largely out there now. I mean, there's some college games left, yes, but for the majority, this is what these players are. So yeah, I mean, I just think it would be really exciting to have a talent like Travis Hunter play here. But it would be awesome to see like a Mason Graham and pair him with Mason Smith. And can you build two guys in the interior there that can wreak havoc as rushers? Because I think Mason Smith in a year can be a disruptive force. I think that there's something there with him.
Yeah, coming off his best game.
Yeah, so I mean, if you've got where and look, we talked about it with Tyson Campbell. I like Tyson, and he's going to be here. They've signed him, but I wouldn't mind seeing Tyson Campbell more as the second corner, which is still incredibly important. Second corner to Travis Hunter or Will Johnson, and then we talked about Abdul Carter. If you beat the Titans, then you're pushing yourself further from that, and you may end up in a situation where you have to settle a bit. So by all means, they should lose out. I mean, you don't have to pull for them to lose now for changes to be made, because Shad's either going to make the changes now or he's not going to make them.
Yeah,
I mean,
that part's done.
You're not basing anything off of the final 2 games of this year for the verdict to come in from ownership. So whatever Shad's going to decide, these 2 games aren't going to affect that, but they need to go ahead and lose out. And and again, I think there will be a GM search. And it makes it more appealing for the GM to be able to come in and say, okay, I've got the 4th pick in the draft here. That is going to be a foundational piece for us.
5 pressures for Mason Smith to go along with his sack. Couple of defensive stops on Sunday. It was the best game of the year. Again, he's been inactive 6 times this year. I want to say 3 were injury related. 3, he was a healthy scratch earlier in the year. And your point about draft and how much that can change now is accurate. There may be an exception to the rule. Mel Kiper's comments on Quinn Ewers, I thought, were very intriguing. Right now, he believes he's a 2nd or 3rd round pick, and even though Texas could be the favorite, I'll look that up in a second. They're either 1 or 2 as far as the favorite to win the national championship
Ohio
this
State's
year.
number 1. They're number 2.
Okay, Texas number 2 behind Ohio State. The feeling is that Arch Manning is going to be the quarterback in 2025. So for Quinn Ewers, it's either go to the NFL draft with maybe a 2nd or 3rd round pick, or become the hottest commodity as far as a transfer. And I mean, who knows? He could end up at Ohio State, or he could end up at Alabama if Jalen Milroe elects to go pro.
Imagine what he would get if he entered the portal.
Yeah.
If the kid that just left, or the kid that just arrived at Duke,
Tulane to Duke.
He
did not play against the Gators in the bowl game.
The report is a 2-year, $8 million deal.
Enormous by Duke.
I mean,
what's going on at Tobacco Road now with Bill Belichick in North Carolina, and now Duke spending $8 million for a quarterback?
And there was a report that Michigan State was already prepared to give Ewers $4 million for next year. So, I mean, if you're Quinn Ewers, if you elect to go back to college and you can get the Canes and some of these other teams into a bidding war, Quinn Ewers might make $6 million next year.
Why not? I mean, if he's going to get second or third round quarterback money, you would assume that he's going to be locked in for 4 years.
Right. And that
contract, he could stink up the joint and be out of the league in 2 or 3 seasons.
Correct.
And get paid next year.
And I would think a second round pick, that 4-year contract, how much is that worth? Like maybe $4.5 million? It's not that much. You get very little. Yeah. Check out Mason Smith's contract because you're going to get not much of a signing bonus. And I want to say that until you get to like your 3rd year in the NFL, the base salary isn't overly high. So if you're Quinn Ewers, I thought the same thing about Carson Beck. Like now you've got this elbow injury that's going to require surgery. If you can go back to school, why wouldn't you do that? Now it may not be at Georgia. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Georgia would love to have him back. But if they don't, I mean, a player like Carson Beck, yeah, he's probably not going to be ready for spring. But there's probably a school out there that would give Carson Beck as many Lamborghinis as he would like to play quarterback for them next year.
Mason Smith is a rookie. His cap number was $1,457,000. All right, he got a prorated signing bonus for $662,000, which he threw in the bank, and then had a guaranteed salary for $795,000 for a pretty high second-round pick. Actually, that was down a little bit as a second-round pick. Overall, if he's here for the entire 4 years of the contract, it's 4 years, just over $8 million. Quinn Ewers, if he's selected in that same category, if he can make $4 or $5 million and play a season and improve his draft stock, you have to stay in college.
Absolutely. I mean, and so I think that's what you'll probably see. And, really, other than Sanders and Ward, it doesn't feel like there's, I mean, honestly, unless you just don't have any eligibility left, if you were Jackson Dart, why would you come out? Mm-hmm. I mean, if somebody will, again, if you still have eligibility, and this is a whole other issue. I mentioned this last week with Diego Pavia's winning his case where his JUCO does not count towards his eligibility.
Right.
I think that now pushes us to a line where you could see somebody bring a case and say, I don't think the NCAA should have any eligibility. I should not have to age out of a business enterprise where I can make millions of dollars. So I am suing to say that I should be perpetually eligible and I should never be told I can no longer play this sport anymore. Yeah. I understand from a fan standpoint, a lot of people won't like that. But from a legal standpoint,
it's where we're headed.
I think it's absolutely worth fighting if somebody wanted to bring somebody that, maybe didn't have. Quinn Ewers has an NFL future. Jackson Dart, Carson Beck, they're going to get a chance in the NFL. But if you're a guy that is a really talented collegian, but
Eric Crouch,
but you're not going to get much of a look from the NFL, I think you got a great case.
I read a column or I read a piece saying that the antitrust has no fight in this battle if it's challenged. And again, the governing body of the NCAA has been such a massive joke. We're going to see it. And Steve Sarkisian last week said, we're literally going to be playing college football, and you're going to have 27, 28-year-olds
absolutely
out there who are not good enough yet for the NFL, but they get to extend their career and get paid under the current way that the college football game is working.
Like, what would Danny Warfel be today? Like, because he was a 4th-round pick when he left the Gators. Didn't have much of an arm, and it didn't work out for him in the NFL. But, like, imagine that kind of player, like, in today's climate, just say, well, yeah, it's probably not worth it for me to go to the NFL, but I can keep bouncing around school to school.
Several million. If the Duke kid's getting $4 million, Danny Warfel's got to be making more money than that.
Right. So, I mean, and that's just one example. But my point is, like, I think that's absolutely coming. So, and this could be the first off season where you do see something spectacular like college quarterbacks that maybe aren't top 5 picks, but certainly aren't mid-round picks that say, you know what? I'm putting it off. I'm going to go play for Duke, Michigan State, Miami, whoever, and cash a $5 million check as opposed to my rookie contract if I'm a second-round pick that's going to pay me $8 million over 4 years.
There's no doubt. It totally makes sense. And, we see that kids are so quick to get out of high school. Kids are so quick to get out of college. But I think the latter is going to change a little bit now because the opportunity is there to make money. Carson Beck, it is now official. He is going to have surgery, so his season is over. It's going to be Gunnar Stockton who will be performing for Georgia, and that game will be, 1 week from tomorrow, I believe. That will be officially January 1st. The Carson Beck story is interesting because I believe he played as a true freshman. I mean, he's a senior now.
Yeah, I can never keep up with,
eligibility
who actually can come back and can. I know he is a senior, but that's the thing.
Can he apply for another year?
Could he apply for another year?
Right.
And again, it seems like players win all of these cases. Like Florida has players that are seniors that are announcing on social media that they're declaring for the draft. So that's why I'm wondering, like Montrell Johnson is a senior. There were some other players this week for Florida that are seniors.
Does it still go back to the COVID
So
thing?
that's what I don't know. Like, does Carson Beck have a COVID year available?
I would assume he does because he played as a true freshman.
Yeah.
Very limited, 10 of 23 for 176 yards. And I don't believe he got there in 2020.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he did redshirt as a freshman. I was under the impression he was 2021, and this is his fourth year. But
like Hayes said, they always win these cases. Miami has a guy who's like on his 9th year.
The tight end.
Well, like Cam Rising at Utah still has college eligibility for next year, and he was in the same, I want to say, the same recruiting class as Trevor.
Yeah. Same recruiting class as Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
And he's still playing college ball.
Right.
So you can challenge these rules. You lawyer up, the NCAA is going to be like, oh, we've exhausted our whatever. We don't have the funding. We don't have the personnel. I mean, no one cries poor like the NCAA. And now, these kids and universities are completely taking advantage of these rules. They're just muscling up and say, go ahead, try to stop us. It almost feels like the approval rate of applying against the NCAA and saying, we want an extra year. I don't want to say it's 100%. It's pretty close.
Absolutely. Yeah, they don't win any legal argument. In fact, they had that ruling a year and a half, 2 years ago where they got all the way to the Supreme Court. I can't remember exactly what the issue was because there's been so many. But whatever, they were fighting an issue. It got in front of the Supreme Court, and they lost 8-0. Yeah. How does that happen in today's world? That 8 Supreme Court justices agreed for one side. I mean, it just shows you how the NCAA has no legal footing. And again, I think it could continue to get pushed. So Carson Beck is interesting because if he declares, let's just assume he has a choice here. He may not. I don't know. If he may have no choice but to leave and go into the NFL. I don't know about his eligibility, but maybe he'd be a good case to sue for an injunction for another year.
Sure, why not?
Because if he can't throw, coming off a poor final year at Georgia, he had moments, but it was disappointing. I mean, a lot of people thought he was going to win the Heisman. I thought he was going to win the Heisman. I thought he was going to have this dominating year. It didn't happen.
He was a turnover machine midway through the year.
Made some bad decisions, certainly, and played better after the Florida game here, but still a disappointing year. But if he can't throw, we know how these NFL decision makers are. If he's in a sling at the combine and he can't throw and have a pro day, and it's going to hurt him. If Carson Beck can't participate in the draft process, I would say he's going to be a mid to late second round pick.
Could be. And he obviously missed Ladd McConkey, and he missed Brock Bowers. Last year, nearly 4,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I don't understand the quarterback rating in college football, but last year it was 167.9. This year it drops to 145.3. Threw more touchdowns, 28, but doubled up his interceptions with 12, threw for 500 less yards. So maybe coming back for him, Georgia, they're going to pay him. They're going to pony up in order for him to come back. So I would not be surprised at all if Jacksonville's Carson Beck, that is part of the plan to come back. The other side could be, no, I've done enough. I'm moving on. I want to test the NFL waters. But, yeah, his draft stuff. A lot of these quarterbacks, not named Sanders and Ward, for the most part, they fell off. Ewers fell off.
Yeah.
Beck fell off. Who else was highly?
Jackson Dart, I wouldn't say had a bad year, but he didn't help himself. He didn't improve his stock.
Riley Leonard, even though they're still around, didn't really do anything to improve his draft status.
And there was no one that had that, like, final Blake Bortles year.
Gabriel,
like he had
as great as he is.
Right.
No, not there.
There was no one that had that year that sort of came out of nowhere. And, either. So, look, I mean, it's reflected in the Heisman voting. I mean, we're not going to see too often now a Heisman race where the first two guys are non-quarterbacks. And
very rare.
And we saw it. So, I mean, it speaks to once you get beyond Sanders and Ward, and I think even, I mean, obviously they'll be the headline of this class, but I don't think it's, two of the greatest prospects we've seen. I mean, I think they're both shaky compared to some of the guys that we have seen recently come into the league at that position. But, I mean, there is a huge drop-off once you get beyond those two guys.
So if they all come back, Jalen Milroe's another decision. The word is that he's staying, but, that always can change. Well, actually, I don't know. Is he going to fully play against Michigan coming up next week? One of the better non-college football playoff bowl games, if everyone does play in that matchup between Michigan and Bama. Even though Michigan was down this year, they're coming off that huge victory at Ohio State. But you look at Nussmeier, and I guess you look at Ewers if he goes, and Milroe. I mean, there's not like there's just and Arch Manning's going to enter the conversation. He's going to be a one and done at Texas. I mean, right now the odds are that he will be the top pick in the 2026 NFL draft.
Yeah, I mean, I'm anxious to see what Arch does over a full season. But yeah,
I mean, man, he can run.
Oh, he's a great prospect. So and look, if Texas is ready to move on to him, then that obviously they see him every day. So it'll be exciting to see what the quarterback position looks like in college football next year. But in this draft, it's not a great one. And again, getting back to the Jaguars, that's why you don't want to fall too far out of this thing. You don't. Because you'd love to be. First off, I don't think they're going to finish with the first or the second pick here. But if you did, you'd like to at least see if some team was foolish enough to trade you a treasure trove to go get Sanders or Ward. But look, if you finish with with the third pick, that's a pretty nice consolation prize. The greatest multi-purpose player that's ever entered the draft, and Travis Hunter. You might be getting the next Champ Bailey with more offensive upside.
The two teams that are ahead of them are the Giants and the Patriots. The Patriots are a 4-point home underdog this weekend against the Los Angeles Chargers, and obviously L.A. Still has plans for the playoffs.
The Pats don't need a quarterback either.
No, they don't.
Right.
And he made a couple of really nice plays. He also made a couple of rookie mistakes. I actually watched that game the other day.
They gave the Bills a great fight.
Yeah, they're up 14-0 in that game, and it was really kind of it seems like 9 out of 10 times when you see that pass behind the line of scrimmage, even if it is clearly behind the line of scrimmage,
they call it an incompletion.
The ref blows the whistle. They let this one roll,
right.
And that's how Buffalo won that game.
And it's like, why are you calling that from your 4?
I know. That was really just really stupid game planning.
Gosh.
Unbelievable. So the Colts visit the Giants, and Indianapolis is an 8-point road favorite. Again, the New York Giants right now.
Anthony Richardson at least gives the Giants a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
Like, because that could be a 3-pick game.
What is it? Vegas had lost 10 in a row. I want to say the Giants have lost 9 in a row or 10 in a row.
It feels like the Giants haven't won a game since 1987.
And, I want to have that conversation as we there's a lot of good things that we do have planned here today, but that Giants situation to me is perfect for what the Jaguars could be making a move similar to what the Giants did. Brian Daboll learned under Bill Belichick and then went and had a year under Nick Saban. And he was so instrumental in the development of Josh Allen, and their, assistant general manager went to New York. Brian Daboll went to New York, and he was considered the hot guy. They have completely disappointed. The Giants have lost 10 in a row. If I was to say to anyone right now, if he gets fired, bring Brian Daboll in for an interview in Duval, people would drive off the road. But my point is, we don't know about Ben Johnson. We don't know about Joe Brady. We don't know about these hot offensive coordinators. Yes, they do a fantastic job calling plays and running offenses, but it's a totally different world when you take over as a head coach.
Without a doubt. And I think with Daboll, what is interesting there is how much grace do you give him for being saddled with a poor GM who basically said, no, you're going to play with Daniel Jones. And, oh, by the way, I'm not paying Saquon Barkley. So, but your point is, it's still going to take, Daboll's going to need to kind of revive himself as an OC somewhere, I think, before maybe he gets another chance. But it feels like from an outsider's perspective, the problem with the Giants is the general manager more than the head coach.
You picked your job. And Jacksonville has a quarterback. And again, they got to find a guy that knows that he can work with this quarterback. Do you want to go to New York and maybe they get Sanders? Maybe they get Ward. Do you want to go to New Orleans, right? Where you have Carr. Do you want to go?
New Orleans is getting ready to be the worst team in the league for like 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
They are so in desperate need of just a complete rebuild. Their cap situation is atrocious. It's unlike anything we've seen in this league in like 20 years, how bad New Orleans' cap situation is.
Do you want to go to the Jets with a 41-year-old quarterback who's going to hold that team hostage? And what I mean by that is, do the Jets just say, regardless if Aaron Rodgers comes back or not, we have to get ourselves a quarterback to prepare for the future? But again, it's half these quarterbacks don't make it. As we see each and every year, it's more than half of these first-round quarterbacks just don't make it. So I think that's the one major advantage that Jacksonville has. Chicago seems to be pointing upward a little bit with Caleb Williams. I still think the one team that could really throw a wrench into this would be if Cincinnati fires Zach Taylor, because Joe Burrow is just special.
Yeah, but it seems like it's been good news that Cincinnati's kind of gotten on a roll, because it looks like they're going to either get in or barely miss, and their owner is super cheap. So I think Zach Taylor is going to be okay. That's been great that Cincinnati's kind of found their footing, because I think Zach Taylor is going to be able to keep his job. Because you're right, the current climate, the Jaguars have the best job. I mean, I think without a doubt. I think it's better than what Chicago would offer. And it's way better than what the Saints and Jets and Giants would have to offer. So, but Cincinnati would bump the Jaguars down to a distant second.
Opening comments today brought to you by the good folks over at Shmunez Vision, where why not set yourself up for 2025? Your eyes are bothering you, make an appointment today, okay? The latest prescription, obviously, for glasses, contacts, no doubt, but it's so much deeper than that. How about laser eye surgery? Imagine the rest of your days having 20/20 eyes. Also would like to introduce Dr. John Hunt, who does become yet another member there with the Shmunez family. More than 30 years worth of experience when it comes to cataract surgery. If you do include Dr. Neil Shmunez and Dr. Catherine Shmunez. Dr. Neil Shmunez did perform surgery on my right eye 8.5 years ago, and I've never had a setback. They are absolutely wonderful. Check them out online at Shmunez Vision, or go to Instagram. You can get all of the testimonials at Shmunez Vision. We are fired up to be with you on Christmas Eve. We're going to have a lot of fun here over the next couple of hours. I never miss an opportunity to pile on Dr. Herbie. That is Kirk Herbstreit. But the latest, I find myself having his back. And Shannon Sharp, for a big, massive, intimidating guy, just the thinnest of skin. I mean, you would have thought that. Anyway, we'll play it for you if you don't know what I'm talking about. And I just found this out viral because I don't watch any of these shows on ESPN, but just really insane.
You took me as a first take watcher every morning, recorded.
Anyway, excuse me. We're going to play that for you. We're going to get into that. Also, take an early look at these 4 college football playoff games, which do, of course, get underway next week. But did they get it right? The top 8 teams are still out there to try to win a national title.
He is our quarterback savant, and he'll take you inside his mind.
So you can learn more about the science of quarterbacking.
Denny Thompson is the Quarterback Whisperer. Friday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Have you heard? Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet are aiming to sell 1,000 vehicles this December. How? I've told my team to take all reasonable offers. We won't lose your business over price. With thousands of cars, trucks, and SUVs on the ground, all priced to sell, we guarantee the most money for your trade and the easiest car buying experience ever. I promise we ain't leaving nothing on the table, but you've only got 1 week left. Visit Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We're here to wow you.
Hey, poker fans! The Best Bet Winter Open Series returns to Best Bet Jacksonville from January 23rd to February 2nd. Satellites into the $1,500 main event kick off January 4th. Take your shot at big payouts with 8 action-packed events and $500,000 in guarantees. Visit bestbetjacks.com for more details. That's bestbetjacks.com. And we'll see you at the Winter Open starting January 23rd.
Jingle bells, plumbing's gone astray. A burst pipe, no hot water clogged drain on Christmas Day. That's no holiday. Call Duck Duck Rooter. We're faster than Santa's sleigh.
904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
It's holiday season and Nimnik Buick GMC is here for you. Whether you're making memories on the road or continuing family traditions right here in Jacksonville, you can always count on us because there's nobody but Nimnik. Now look, if you're looking for a better used car shopping experience, you'll find it at Nimnik Buick GMC, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealership. And with Car Bravo at Nimnik, you'll get transparent pricing, the best value for your trade, and peace of mind. Now is the time to shop certified used vehicles and buy with confidence. What kind of models are you getting? Honda, Toyota, Kia, Mazda, Ford. That's right, all makes, all models. And trading in your old vehicle, don't forget who gives you top dollar for your trade. Nobody but Nimnik. So shop online at nimnikbuickgmc.com or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. It's holiday season and there's never a better time to buy from Nimnik. Who takes care of you? Nobody but Nimnik.
This is Josh Woolsey with Woolsey Morecambe. Woolsey Morecambe is your MVP in the legal game. Our team of skilled attorneys tackle personal injury cases with compassion and expertise. With fumbles like a car or truck accident, we're here to seek the compensation you deserve. Right here in Jacksonville, we've successfully won over $100 million and earned a championship-worthy record. When it's game time, you want a team that plays to win. Contact Woolsey Morecambe at 1-800-WOOLSEY. Offices, Jacksonville.
Help fight skin cancer by playing golf at the Hit 'em Straight Golf Tournament December 30th at Queens Harbor for a day of food and fun while raising money for the Melanoma Research Foundation. To sign up, call 904-507-1401.
Christmas is the greatest day in the whole wide world.
Merry Christmas from 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Did you have to borrow a reindeer to get down here?
Every day like Christmas. Where do you think you're going to put a tree that big? Bend over and I'll show you.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Barr here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Barr Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit barrorthopedics.com.
Homeowners, listen up. Did you know that 9 out of 10 borrowers get a better deal by calling Loan Pronto? Hey, it's Prosser here, and the Fed has dropped the rates again. The election is over, and Loan Pronto has APRs in the low 5s for refis, debt consolidation, and purchase loans. If your current mortgage rate is over 6%, or if you're in the process with another lender, don't settle. Call Loan Pronto now for a second opinion. Lock a lower rate today and close in as little as 2 weeks, often with no appraisal. And if you act now, you won't make your first payment till February. This 5-minute call saves homeowners an average of $5,000, lower rates and lower fees. So get your Loan Pronto rate quote instantly with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. It's Loan Pronto. Call them at 904-999-1508, or you can visit loanpronto.com. That's Loan Pronto at 904-999-1508, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLS consumeraccess.org.
If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's, well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Kind of wish the Davey brothers would get along. Why can't we just get along? Love to see the Kinks, one of the few bands never had an opportunity to sing. And what was great about the Kinks is they kind of like early on adopted like the Beatles, where every song is like 2.5 minutes tops.
Yeah. They sing Lola, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it. College football tonight, South Florida, 6-6. They are in Hawaii, the Hawaii Bowl against San Jose State. So that's what you got tonight on Christmas Eve. If you're alone, if you're a degenerate gambler, if St. Nick ain't popping down your chimney, you got that to look forward to. San Jose State favored by 2.5 points.
It's a great game.
No?
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Got to appreciate that. Those will hold on to maybe 3 fingers worth of, I don't know, maybe some old granddad, and then just watch South Florida, San Jose State, put a dime on it, and we'll see how things turn out.
It's a wonderful way to spend the holiday.
What do you got planned? What's going on tonight at the
I've got a
Caroline
Christmas
home?
party, so I'm going to my cousin's. Looking forward to that. That's in San Marcos, so I'll go straight from here, pick up my mom, and then we'll go over there and be a lot of fun. Then I'll go home and hang out with my wife and her family are in town. So lots to do.
JJ, what do you got going?
I'm hitting the road.
Ocala?
Yep. I got a car full of booze and everything else. It's packed up, ready to go as soon as we leave here.
Nice.
I'm ready.
All right.
Deviled eggs made in the fridge, ready.
I love deviled eggs.
Award-winning deviled eggs. Best 1010XL deviled eggs in the contest last year. Nothing to scoff at.
Can't go wrong with deviled eggs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you get a nice plaque or certificate
I
for that?
didn't. Unfortunately, I think they're still working on it.
Okay. What about you? What you got?
I
You
got
got
the
your chair. You got your gift.
I do. That'll be
Yes.
late night again,
Yeah.
no doubt. But I'm going to head to the Blue Crab House. Always my Christmas Eve tradition with the GF. And there's been times when my dad's been around, my daughters have been around. Neither is the case, unfortunately, tonight or tomorrow. But the Blue Crab open till 9. By the way, great gift certificate. If you're struggling for something, they just opened at 4:30. You can go by the Blue Crab House, spend $50, and you can get a $65 gift card. Okay, so that option is available tonight until 9. They are closed tomorrow, but we'll do that, the GF and I, and then have a nice little Christmas Eve. And then tomorrow, she already made reservations for the Bob Dylan movie.
Oh, cool. A complete unknown. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to watching that.
Timothy Chalamet.
JJ, you got any gummies for me?
No comment. Holler at me after the show.
I'm just
I got
kidding.
plenty.
I'm not a doper. I kid about smoking jaybirds on chairs.
You
and
know,
all
he
that type of
sings
stuff.
in that movie.
Does he really?
Himself, yes. I'm always skeptical when you hear about actors singing, but it's been good a few times. Joaquin Phoenix, I thought, was awesome in the Johnny Cash movie.
Please don't Bradley Cooper me. I'm not in the mood for Bradley Cooper.
I was just about to say I haven't seen that movie, but I heard he sings well in it.
Yeah, he starts strumming the guitar. He's picking and grinning and singing.
So
That's a little easier because he's not trying to play a real person.
Oh,
you
right.
know,
I'll give you that.
But yeah, I thought Joaquin Phoenix definitely deserved best.
Who else as an actor got it as a singer? Is there anyone else that comes to mind? I mean, Travolta, but he was kind of a singer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There haven't
Like Jamie
been-
Foxx, he's also a singer.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah,
He's Ray
Ray.
Charles. Yeah.
Yes, you know what?
That's
Excellent
a great
one.
call.
No doubt there. You know who did a nice job? I'll give you one. Val Kilmer is Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how much of that was lip sync.
Never seen it, actually.
But like the from the Whiskey a Go-Go, when he does the end, when he talks about, killing the daddy and yada, yada, yada with the mommy, that's really Val Kilmer.
Right.
Who's singing that part in the Doors. But
I'd like
I
to
don't
see
know.
a Fleetwood Mac movie. Why don't
Yeah.
we have that?
Let's get on it.
I mean,
we can put we raised $280 million for the J Fund. I bet if we want to raise money to put together
$280 million.
280,000, excuse me. Folks, this is what I deal with when I'm sober on Christmas Eve. I bet if we put it out there, we've probably got a script writer, probably got a director,
and I would just
probably
do
got
it
a
like
producer. We got a couple of gaffers too as well. So we can put this together.
Yeah, we need a best boy. I would say like I like how like they've got a Springsteen movie that's coming out later this year, and it focuses just on like one album that he made. I think it's the Nebraska album, and I'm not
he went dark. That was a serial killer album.
So that. And because I remember when Frank's obviously a huge Springsteen fan, and he was kind of surprised that the movie was only going to focus on that. So I would say, like, for the Fleetwood Mac album, only focus on, like, them making rumors. Like, in just that part of the... Like, you don't need to do... Like, The Doors was basically from how they started The Doors to how, obviously, his death.
Well, yeah, there's certain Fleetwood Mac albums where like half the band's not even in it.
So
like,
you would need to do you would need to do the Fleetwood Mac movie from just a very specific time in the band.
Yeah, Peter Green was no longer there. Bob Welsh was no longer there. And Welsh went on to have a couple of really good singles, Ebony Eyes and Sentimental Lady. But they almost gave it up. Then they go to California and pick up Lindsey Buckingham, and they just want to hire him.
Right.
And he's like, well, no. My girlfriend, Stevie Nicks, and she's going to be part of it. They said, Christine McVie, do you mind having another female singer? They formed their own little Helmets and Heels. They became the first ever double-barreled lead singers who were women. And again, you talk about a hybrid band. That's a combination of London and California, men and women. Name another combination. Maybe Jefferson Airplane with Marty Balin and Grace Slick, but name maybe the Mamas and the Papas. I don't know. Can anyone come close to having lead singers, male and female, like Fleetwood Mac?
I can't think of it. The Pixies had Kim Deal sing some, but I don't think she'd be considered the lead singer. I mean, Frankie Black is the lead singer. So, I can't think of one off the top of my head.
What was that? Was it No Doubt? Was that that was all her, though?
That was all her. She was the lead singer. You're talking about a band where they arguably are interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of one from my generation where...
Absolutely, I can't. Not even close.
I mean, Heart, you had...
It's all Ann and...
That was Ann, and I mean, it was kind of led by their, the two sisters, but but Ann was the singer. I don't know.
Man, neither do I.
Yeah, I'll be interested in seeing what you think of A Complete Unknown, because I think that's.
I'm going to spoil it for everyone. I'm going to spend my whole show on it when I get back here. I'm going to do a review on Friday.
Yeah, I like it because I think that's just a slice of his life. I don't think it's like a Dylan biopic where it goes through I could be wrong, but I think it's more like
I don't know anything about it, and I like going into movies like that.
Yeah,
I mean, we the ability to cheat nowadays is just so there, and that includes set lists when you go to a concert. I mean, you basically know what they're going to play.
I kind of like that though, because I like knowing when I can go to the
lavatory and grab a couple more beers,
get a drink.
Yeah, absolutely,
because there's always going to be a song
you're a
or
veteran.
two that
where I come from, veteran.
Yeah,
I mean, you are. I mean, that you have to take advantage of today's set list, because once that seal is broken, you got to pop into the lavatory and then pick up 2 Miller Lights for. So
and sometimes they'll surprise you and play a song that you think is going to be in the encore and with the fourth song, and so it's like you don't want to miss that. So anyway,
That whole Rumors album, too, was, I mean, they hated each other.
Yeah, that's why it'd be a fantastic movie.
Right.
With all the, I mean.
Christine and John were going through a divorce, and Lindsay and Stevie were writing songs about how the other one cheated on them or whatever.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty fantastic. All right. Hope you enjoyed the soundbite on Kirk Herbstreit, Shannon Sharp, which we
this is Rolling Stone Radio.
yeah, no doubt about it, man. He is. I'll be Jim Ladd.
Lester Banks.
Okay, I was going to say, JJ, you can be Wolfman Jack.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know who that is, but he sounds badass.
You don't know who Wolfman Jack is? Maybe the most famous DJ of all time.
Like national DJ?
Yeah. Back in the day.
What would you say, 70s, 80s?
Yeah.
Wow, he looks like a Wolfman, actually.
Bob Dylan mentions Wolfman Jack in his 17-minute song, which is all about, it's called Murder Most Foul is the name of the song. Murder Most
2020
Foul.
Song, a new song.
It's a 17-minute song, and it begins about blowing the head off of JFK. And just how incredibly...
I hope he didn't have anything to do with it, Wolfman Jack.
Corrupt the nation was about trying to cover it up. And, I mean, it's if you have 17 minutes, put on Murder Most Foul by Bob Dylan, and...
We'll just play that in our next segment.
Yeah,
as a matter of fact, let's go over to Glenn's Liquors. I'm fine. Play JJ, play Murder Most Foul.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a professional stamp licker from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Martin Celery.
Oh, gosh. I can't wait to play, Bob.
Well, let's move things along. Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
Wait, but
That's right, Marty. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we've stocked up on the remaining inventory of low-cost 2024 model air conditioners. So you win. We're passing the savings on to you.
Can I answer a question first?
We need to make room for the 25s, so we're offering great deals on AC replacements while supplies last.
Could I spin the wheel at least? I've been practicing for a year.
With last-minute deals like this, there's no question that you are cool.
What'll I tell my kids?
There you go. Have a souvenir t-shirt.
Thanks.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
Hank Bigsby, with his game so bright, led the Jaguars' sleigh into the end zone and an early lead. Thanks to a six-play sequence capped off by a Bigsby one-yard score, Jacksonville would take an early 7-0 lead with 1:32 left in the quarter. The 29-yard drive is your Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game.
Hey, John, are you a small business owner looking to make the most of your investments?
Absolutely. And now is the time to take advantage of some incredible tax deductions.
You can qualify for a 2024 tax deduction for up to 60% of the purchase price of a brand new Cadillac.
Think Escalade, Lyric, Optic, XT5, and XT6.
We have over 100 in stock at Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville. It's the perfect time to upgrade your business fleet.
This is not tax advice. Consult with your tax advisor for further details and to determine eligibility, plus tax tag title $8.99 admin fee and resist all and approved credit.
Hi, I'm Frank Frangie, and I've depended on South State for my banking needs as long as they've been serving Duval. Whether you're saving for retirement, purchasing a home, starting a business, your goals are their commitment. With forward-thinking, personalized banking solutions and best-in-class service, South State is ready to help you navigate your financial journey. Connect at southstatebank.com or drop by any of the 5 local South State offices. South State Bank, member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
Local
Local 234 plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and thank you to all the members and contractors for their continued support and partnership. Together, they've helped build a stronger foundation for Jacksonville since 1901. Enjoy spending time with your friends and families this holiday season. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Local 234, make the right connection. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Merry Christmas, Googans. Hey, Dan Hicken here, wishing you the very happiest of holidays from our family here at 1010XL 92.5 FM to yours. Have a wonderful holiday season. All the very best. Spend time with your family and enjoy.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
I've known Glenn Coleman for a long time as a friend and a lawyer. Persistent and fair, Glenn and his firm have represented clients from North Florida and South Georgia for over 40 years in all kinds of personal injury cases. If I had such a case, call Glenn at Barnes and Cohen.
Now, it's time to showcase the Crown Royals Special Teams Player of the Game. Live generously and life will treat you royally.
Caleb Johnson was astounding Sunday in Vegas. The fourth-year pro recorded 2 tackles versus the silver and black, with 1 being solo and also 1 being assisted. Johnson was gifting big hits to the opposing special teams players all game, and he is your Crown Royals Special Teams Player of the Game.
Hey, Jacksonville Koozies, it's me, Soccer Sam, for Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizza is now open in Jacksonville, Florida, Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. Daily $10 deals, dine in with beer and wine, and delivery at salvatores.com. The famous Formoso family brings Salvatore's Pizza, Rochester's favorite pizza, including our 32-piece sheet pizza for your next event. Do it with me, baby. Salvatores.com.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, with answers to the questions I'm asked the most. Yes, we are local, and no, I'm not hiring an actor to read these commercials. Check us out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
A change on the Jaguars' defense that still puzzles Jeff Lageman.
My biggest question that I really haven't understood going all the way back to the offseason was the decision to make a top tackler in the National Football League change positions, which Foye Oluokun has been literally the leading tackler in the National Football League for the last 3 years, maybe 4 years, maybe 5 years. And to move him out of the Mike position and to not have him in front of the huddle with the green dot at times, it's like, wait a minute, why would you do that? And that was very curious to me.
Jeff Lageman on Jaguars Today with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update. I'm Andrew Gibson.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Out of all the reindeers, you know you're the mastermind.
Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hi, the great Chuck Berry. We roll into a Christmas Eve. Good to have you with us. Rick Ballou, normally with you 6 until 8. That'll be the deal beginning Monday. I'll be back with Hayes Carline and JJ LaSelva Friday, 4 to 6. And we will certainly get ready to preview Jaguars football against the Tennessee Titans. Christmas Eve. This is my favorite day of the year.
Really?
Love it. And it's not what it once was. You know, growing up Irish Catholic in Boston, midnight mass was so huge, and we always had a Christmas Eve party at my house, and we get things rolling right around now, 4:35, and just take it right up to about 11:30. Then not too far away was our church. And, I haven't done that in the state of Florida, the midnight mass, but that was big growing up. And I always loved, I would have to work every Christmas, those 7 years in Chicago, but I would always take Christmas Eve off because it was great, especially when you had the kids that were so young. Christmas is great with young kids.
Honestly, that's been one of the greatest experiences of my entire life, if not the greatest experience, is getting to see Avery and Jackson have all those Christmases, and they're 16 and 14 now, but for you get about a good 10-year run.
There's nothing better.
It is so awesome.
Yeah, and 7 of those years were in Chicago where it was cold.
Yeah.
Or 5 for one of for Tegan, who was born in 2002. But it's there's nothing quite like it.
Yeah, I've never seen a white Christmas. We obviously I'm from here, and then my first wife was from Indiana, so we would go up there. We sort of switch it, and
never snowed for you.
I think it snowed, but never. It was never like we might have it, but it wasn't like all over the place. You get what I'm saying?
Like, absolutely. There were many years in Boston where it hadn't snowed yet. But there were some where, there was snow on the ground, and there was even a couple where we actually got flurries, either on the eve or on the actual day. So we're all wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a safe one as well. If you're going to get after it and party, by all means, but please make sure you have a designated driver or call Uber. I mean, a lot of folks are working, right? Salute out as well to everyone working, especially doctors and nurses, but everyone else. It's, here we are working. We're having a good time. We're with you for another hour, but there's a lot of people who have to go to work tonight, work tomorrow as well. So if you're out, and just remember to tip well.
That's right.
If you can. Big tipper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got to be.
You got to. I mean, they can't wait for me to get to the Blue Crab House tonight, not because they enjoy my company. They know I'm going to leave a huge Christmas tip.
I was a server for many years, in like high school, college, and then kind of briefly out of college. So, I think if you've been in the industry, you were a bartender,
Bartender for 4 years.
So, if you...
We tip better than anyone.
Absolutely.
You get it. You understand it. Unfortunately, a lot of people...
Job.
It really is.
Yeah.
You're in, if I had any say at all, politically speaking, I would almost mandate that there should be a 6-month minimum that every 16 to 18-year-old should have to experience being in the hospitality field. Know what it's like to be at someone else's beck and call. It is now, that may be all the influence that you need to go ahead and get an education and do something with your life because you don't want to be in that. And I'm not trying to dismiss that field. If you really work hard at it, you can make a lot of money as a bartender, a lot of money as a waiter or a waitress. But, man, can I have another fork? My fries are cold. I mean, It's just one thing after another.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You get slammed. I used to have the dreams. Did you ever have a dream where, like, you're perpetually slammed and you just can't get caught
in the
up?
weeds?
Yeah.
Well, as a bartender, you can have bartender eyes. That there's a great difference between being a bartender and a waiter.
Mm-hmm.
And a waiter,
I was never a bartender. I was always a waiter.
Oh, as a bartender, I mean, bartender eyes are great, but you can, if some guy's just a jackass, and is not tipping and is just rude, you can conveniently ignore him and go to someone who is pleasant, smiles, how are you doing, tips well, whatever it may be. Now, the long run, you want to bring in as much business as you can so you eventually get to everyone.
Right.
But there's clearly a difference between being a bartender and a waiter.
Yeah.
For that very reason.
Without a doubt. Yeah, a waiter, you have no control. You have to serve who sits there.
Let's get to Kirk Herbstreit. This was in the midst of the second half of the blowout with Ohio State against Tennessee on Saturday. This was Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler talking about Ohio State fans.
God forbid they lose to Oregon. They may want to fire him again.
But that's not reality. I mean, that's the thing. When you hear pundits on this network and other places talk about that with certainty, it's nonsense, frankly. I mean, the public doesn't pull the trigger and get rid of the coach.
No.
The administrators do, and they're behind them.
Yeah. First Take tried to fire him. They thought he was done. So I'll be excited to see what they talk about on Monday after this performance.
All right. I thought there's nothing wrong with this. He's promoting a show on their network. Okay, and Hayes and JJ, let's get your opinion, but let's get the response first. Again, this is harmless. He's coming out saying that people have these shows to offer up their opinion, and they were talking about firing Ryan Day if they lost to Tennessee. They did not. They blew out Tennessee. Here's Shannon Sharp's response 2 days later.
I'm going to be a good teammate. I'm going to let it slide. Everybody's at ESPN. Because had you not taken the route you taken, I would have lit their ass up. But I'm going to let it slide. You know what, guys? Congratulations, Ohio State. You won the game. But, hey, if we're going to be on the same team, if we're going to work for the same network, don't do that. Kurt, Chris Fowler, I promise you, if you ever mention anything, any platform that I'm on again and talking about, I wonder what they're going to say in negativity, I promise you, ESPN ain't got enough bosses to keep me off y'all for what I'm going to say. So I'm going to let y'all slide today. I'm going to turn it over to D.O. before I get myself in trouble. But don't play with me.
It was a harmless comment, and he promoted it.
I think there was a little more to Herb Street there than just that. I think he went a little bit further with his criticism.
Yeah, I heard
First
the whole
Take.
thing.
Yeah. So I get it. I thought hearing it, I was surprised Herb Street took it as far as he took it specifically directed at one singular show, because the narrative is around the nation that if Ryan Day had lost to Tennessee, he might have gotten fired.
Mike Vrabel could have been their coach.
Yeah, it wasn't just conjured solely by one TV show. So I was surprised at how strong Herb Street went after just First Take.
I don't think he said anything else about First Take. The other stuff he said was about the fans, and
Right.
about
Ohio
State fans.
Yeah, but my impression was in hearing it, he was sort of lumping them all in together. But regardless, it's silly anyway. And can I get Kirk Herbstreit to stop calling NFL games? I mean,
take Al with you.
Yeah, I mean, what is Amazon doing? Anyway, not to get us off track there, but the whole thing is silly. I mean,
you ever see the promo with Al and Kirk? Al comes out and goes, how much fun are we going to have? Like, fun?
Yeah.
All you do is complain about the officials.
Right.
All you do is complain about timeouts and
Making
reviews.
$1 million a game is fun as hell.
You're not having any fun.
No, and Herbstreit is so spread thin. I don't know that he was that great to start anyway, but now you have him calling basically a game every 2 days.
Yeah.
And anyway, so and I understand that the game was a rout. You got to fill that time. But I was surprised at how just pointed he was to one show, considering, again, there was a national narrative of what's going to happen to Ryan Day if he loses to Tennessee after losing again to Michigan. But, whatever.
It is the biggest show on the network.
Is it really?
First Take. Absolutely.
Is it bigger than, PTI is?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Oh, my God.
I don't watch any of those shows.
Yeah, it's the number one trending show all the time. It's like the one that people talk about. And ironically, it's the one that watches the least amount of college football, so who the hell cares? But yeah, okay, so what if Kirk said about, dude, your whole show is supposed to be combating each other like that.
Right.
And oh my God, how dare someone who's not part of our show even bring us up? It's the same thing. They get in their feelings when Pat McAfee talks about them. It's just typical from Stephen A. and that crew.
Well, and I wonder, too, with Shannon, if there's a little bit of how did this happen with Kirk Herbstreit? He wasn't a good player. I mean, he wasn't a good college player. He never had any NFL career. And Shannon is obviously was
he's
an
an exception
player.
to the rule.
So, I wonder if maybe there's a little bit of that, too.
Well, he's on the same set as Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah, Shannon Sharp was also a colossal JA.
Right.
All right, jackass. And that's not coming from me. That's coming from people that I know who covered him in Baltimore.
Yeah.
That he was just awful. And, spoke when he wanted to. Always very elegant. Always had some really good things to say when he was cornered or answered questions. But he's turned into a brilliant career. His response here is so over the top.
What were you going to say, Shannon? He's like, oh, no boss is here. They can't help me from what I'm going to say next. What are you going to say? What are you going to say that I don't think he had anything to say? And so he was just, hey, I'm going to act tough on here. And it's just pathetic.
Yeah,
classic.
I don't get it. And if given the opportunity, I'm going to bury Dr. Herbie. I can't stand what he has become. He has put himself in a position where he believes his opinion is fact. His opinion is the rule. Last year, he went on and on and on and on and made a big deal about, the whole Florida State thing. They beat 8 bowl teams, okay? They had enough wins to get there, and then he reverses it 180 this year, and he says, well, Indiana, it was deserving by a lot of people, but they didn't beat anyone to get there. They played the defending teams who played in the national championship. It's not Indiana's fault that Washington and Michigan had down years, and Indiana beat Michigan. Indiana played with Ohio State. So he talked out of one side of his mouth about how credible wins that Florida State had is not enough because of an injury. Then he totally dismisses an Indiana 11-1 season. They beat everyone that they faced, not named Ohio State, and that wasn't good enough. He can't stick to his own blueprint.
How did you think he handled COVID?
That's where he got the name Dr. Herbie. Remember, he told us all, it was like
shut down the whole season.
It was like mid-March, and he's like, college football's over. Well, we won't have a college football season this year. That's how we got the name, Dr. Herbie. All right, let's get ready for our second hour. Let's do that. We're getting a lot of input from you on our text line, 641-1010, and that is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Get inside the mind of Jags coach Doug Peterson.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't have butterflies.
Coach Speaks. Fridays at 4:05 on The Franchi Show.
I want to win.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Custom windows and doors on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carlyon for MyBookie. Find your holiday season stride with MyBookie. Take advantage of their live betting, especially if a heavy favorite gets off to a slow start. And check out their cool prop bets. If you haven't signed up, go to mybookie.ag and register for a free account. Use promo code 1010XL to get a 50% bump on your first deposit. For a limited time, MyBookie will add 50% to your initial deposit. Let's take a look at some updated MyBookie lines. The Jaguars are a 1-point favorite over the Titans. The over-under is 39.5 points. Denver is a 3-point road underdog at Cincinnati. Washington is a 4-point favorite against the visiting Falcons. Sign up with that promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit bonus. Again, it's a 50% bonus. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Deck the halls with pipes a-leaking, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la. Oh no! Don't let plumbing ruin your season, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la. Let's go!
Uh-oh. Got a clog or a leak messing with your holiday cheer? Call Duck Duck Rooter. We're the reindeer of repairs. Fast, reliable, and ready to slay your plumbing problems.
Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la, hooray!
904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. We're flushing your worries away this holiday season.
Follow Florida Gators men's basketball on 1010XL. Brought to you by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And by Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Florida Gators.
This is head coach Matthew Driscoll from the UNF men's basketball team. When our players suffer an orthopedic injury, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists gets our players back on the court pain-free.
We appreciate the endorsements from our high school and college coaches. This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. The next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hacker here from 1010XL, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And as always, we thank you so much for listening to 1010XL.
You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Mia here for Dream Finders Homes. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dream Finders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now is your chance to lock down the rate and get in the game. You heard me right, a 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershome.com for more details.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. If you're looking for jewelry this holiday season, we have what you want at Underwoods, and we carry the hottest and best names you'll find anywhere in North Florida. The biggest name in designer jewelry is David Yurman, and his looks are more popular today than they were years ago when Underwoods introduced this designer to Jacksonville. And we carry David Yurman not just in ladies' jewelry, but also in timepieces in his extensive collection of men's jewelry. If it's a watch you're looking for, we carry Rolex and other watches considered to be the best in their price points. We also carry extensive collections of the jewelry we import directly from Italy and Spain that are always popular for their quality, style, and value. So if you want the hottest and most popular jewelry and want to be waited on by the most professional jewelry staff in the business, stop by Underwoods.
Underwoods, where customers are served with quality and respect. In San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra. Underwood Jewelers.
Make a resolution this new year to send all of your friends or family a Kuhn Flowers floral arrangement. E.T. here with 1010XL. Okay, how about sending just one person you love a floral arrangement? Kuhn Flowers can handle it.
Big Chief Tire offers affordable quality tires for every type of vehicle. Frank Frangie here. Whether you're looking for all-season tires, high-performance options, or something more budget-friendly, Big Chief has the perfect set to keep you rolling. Their expert technicians ensure your tires are installed quickly and safely so you can drive with confidence. Visit WeKeepJacksRolling.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule your appointment and check out their unbeatable tire deals today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Have you heard? Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet are aiming to sell 1,000 vehicles this December. How? I've told my team to take all reasonable offers. We won't lose your business over price. With thousands of cars, trucks, and SUVs on the ground, all priced to sell, we guarantee the most money for your trade and the easiest car buying experience ever. I promise we ain't leaving nothing on the table, but you've only got 1 week left. Visit Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We're here to wow you.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. The Florida Gators had an improbable 8-5 season. Early on, taking a look at their schedule with the position they were in, 4-5 seemed like the ceiling. Early season struggles brought cause for Coach Billy Napier's job, but sure enough, the Gators got a strong shot of momentum that has carried them into a successful season. Here's Billy Napier on the team's turnaround to end the season after the Gasparilla Bowl win.
Well, we got good kids. I think we've spent the last couple of years kind of rebuilding the roster. Not only the talent. I was talking to the guys last night. When the roster is right, the development and the football is right, and then the culture being the third piece. When those three things start to line up, that's when you start looking like a real football team. And I think at some point mid-season there, we figured it out. I think it's a tribute to the leadership that we got from the players.
It's 61 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
They said there'll be snow at Christmas. They said there'll be peace on earth. But instead it just kept on raining. A veil of tears for the virgin birth.
Hi, the late Greg Lake of Emerson Lake and Palmer. Kind of some progressive rock, right? One of the first bands to really bring in synthesizers and that kind of sound. And I love them. I think they should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Good to have you with us. Merry Christmas to you. Christmas Eve, my favorite day of the year, along with Hayes Carline and J.J. LaSelva. All right, let's quick look here at the college football playoff. We know we'll have a game a week from tonight, and then we'll have 3 a week from tomorrow. 3 games on New Year's Day, 1 on New Year's Eve. But a lot of criticism that we didn't get the great games. I happen to not be a part of that camp. I like what happened, okay? The 4 teams who were supposed to win won, albeit they won these games by double digits. Too many naysayers, we shouldn't have a 12-team college football playoff. I mean, the teams who were supposed to win won. And now we have the 8 best teams remaining as we do move into the semifinals.
Yeah, to me, it was a lot. I didn't like the
quarterfinals.
I was hoping for more, like at the beginning of the season, more sizzle in terms of the logos of the teams that made it. So it was disappointing to me that Indiana, SMU were in, just because they just don't excite me as much as like Miami and Alabama would, teams like that. But I do think there's a lot of parallels between the NFL wild card weekend is normally kind of a snore, but it gets you to the best weekend for football of the entire year, which is the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. And that's what this is. The wild card round for the college football playoff, the first round, wasn't overly interesting, but what it has done is it has set up what should be a great slate of games now in the quarterfinals. So kind of now you're seeing it parallel with the NFL and in the divisional round. Obviously, I don't like the fact that Boise State got a 3 seed, Arizona State got a 4 seed. I think moving forward, you need to just seed the teams where you feel like the best teams 1 through 12 are, and not just hand a conference champion a high seed and a bye. So, that's a change that I would certainly like to see them make. But, yeah, I'm excited to see. I mean, who doesn't want to see Ohio State-Oregon, that rematch? I'm curious to see if Arizona State can hold up physically against Texas. Definitely intrigued by James Franklin, Boise State. When you look at this would be, I think, an incredibly disappointing loss for James Franklin. So I expect Penn State to get it. But, Boise State with that great ground game. And then obviously Notre Dame, Georgia, that's always going to be must watch when you've got those two programs going against each other. We've got to see how Georgia operates without Carson Beck, with Notre Dame having time to prepare for Gunnar Stockton. So I'm really excited about all 4 games.
Yeah, listen, college football has always been a transition, right? It's always been a game and change. I mean, you can go back to the coalition. You can go back to the alliance. I mean, look at every year. It felt like they tweaked the bowl championship series. Now you went to a 4-team college football playoff. Year 1 of a 12-teamer, to some, it needs to be redone. And among those is the 4 conference champion teams who got buys. I still think the 4 winners from those conferences deserve to get into a 12-team college football playoff, but I do think that's going to be perhaps the biggest conversation. Do they deserve a first-round bye? And that's fair. We did see that the ACC was eliminated. The no name from the Big Ten in Indiana, even though they had a great season, was eliminated. Now, all of a sudden, you look at these games, and this is where it's still a little bit sideways, because when you get deeper and deeper into the NFL playoffs, and for the most part, when you just look at lines on a weekly basis, it's typically 3 points or less. That's not the case with Boise and Penn State, and it's not the case with Arizona State and Texas. You have a couple of 2-possession football lines in these games. I mean, Penn State's favored by 11 points against Boise State. Boise State coming off a bye. Texas is favored by 13.5 points against Arizona State. And then you get to the 2 that just appear to be sensational on paper. The rematch, Oregon against Ohio State. The Buckeyes favored by 1.5 even though they lost the first time that they met. Then, as you mentioned, that Georgia-Notre Dame game. They're going to play that in New Orleans. Right now, Notre Dame is a 2-point underdog against Georgia. Phenomenal games.
Who do you like in Notre Dame, Georgia? Just early thought.
Georgia has more 5 stars than any team in college football. I was looking at that breakdown today, 5 stars, 4 stars. They have the most talent of any team in college football, and they're so well coached. However, we just don't know about Gunnar Stockton. He was 12 of 16 for 71 yards and an interception in the Southeastern Conference Championship game against Texas. I go back and forth. The bye helps Georgia. Notre Dame just played. You know, they're going to have more bumps and bruises.
Yeah, they lost Riley Mills. They're a big-time defensive
They really did. I think I'm leaning towards Georgia right here in this game. Riley Leonard, Notre Dame. I tell you how Notre Dame wins. It's very simple. They're a takeaway machine.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can force 2 or 3 takeaways in this game, then I'm going to take Notre Dame. But I just think right now, as we're a week away, I favor Georgia here in this matchup.
Do you think we'll see anything? Will there be an advantage for the teams that did play? Now, obviously, in Notre Dame's case, they lost one of their best defensive players, so you never want to see that. But for the teams that won but avoided major injury, does it help them to have played? Is it almost too much rest for the teams that had the bye, in your opinion? Because they're probably going on, 3 full weeks?
We don't know.
Of inactivity.
Right.
So, that's another thing that I think is going to be fun to see with this playoff, because obviously in the NFL, we don't get that at all. You don't get weeks and weeks and weeks off between games. But I am curious to see, because normally in a traditional bowl setup, it's the rest is the same. Here, the rest is going to be very, very different. And I do wonder if the teams that played and won will be a little sharper than the teams that haven't played since, the first week of December.
Well, it's a fair point. That's why they're talking about maybe going to 14 teams and only have 2 teams with a bye, as opposed to right now we have 4 teams with a bye. The NFL certainly did that by adding an extra couple of wild card games in both conferences. We always saw teams that dealt with rust when they had a month off before the bowl game. Okay, that has been something that has happened historically year after year. But this is new. And, to a man, I'm sure all 4 coaches who got the buys, there's no way they were going to give up a bye. But it does become a fair question for the 4 teams who played and won. As long as they stayed healthy, they got an extra week to prepare for a team and win a game. It's a fascinating question. Right now, I think I would still rather take the bye, but they could be slower coming out of the gate coming up next week.
Yeah, the Georgia-Notre Dame game will be really fascinating and a tough test for Georgia to have Stockton ready to play on, and fire on all cylinders, with Notre Dame expecting them, and Ohio State, Oregon. I mean, what a game that should be. Jeremiah Smith for Ohio State, I mean, he is one of the best true freshmen I have ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he is spectacular.
Where would he be in the draft right now if he was eligible?
4th overall.
Right?
Wait, was it Dane? Is it
Brugler?
Yeah, said that he'd be the second non-quarterback selected.
I believe it.
If he was eligible this year.
Yeah. I said 4th because I figured 2 quarterbacks, then Travis Hunter, then Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be any good, would it? Brian Thomas Jr. and Jeremiah Smith here?
Oh, my God. I mean, that kid is big. He's physical. He's imposing. I thought Williams was impressive at Alabama. This kid's even better.
Yeah. And if you remember, then the last matchup against Oregon, I wouldn't call it a questionable call, but it was, you don't see it called that often. It was Jeremiah Smith. They were already in field goal range, and he sort of pushed off to get a catch, and that pushed Ohio State back out of field goal range and it lost them the game.
Oh, that's right.
So this kid's going to want some payback, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, going to be a good one here. And the other argument is many believe Oregon and Ohio State are without question among the top 3 teams in all of college football. Okay?
Yet they're playing on the quarters.
Yeah, you can make it maybe a foursome if you were to put Georgia and Georgia and Texas in there. but why are they playing? So, again, this isn't perfect. There still is some tweaking that, and it's even more than tweaking. I do see some significant changes coming before next year's college football 12-team playoff.
I hope so. I'm glad it's here, but they need to adjust it to make it a little closer to perfect.
Yeah, and still enjoy. I was really almost bothered by the complaints that came in last week, and I get it. They were not great football games, but it's better than what we've had. And, I get it. I mean, those name teams, if Miami had been in, if Alabama had been in, it would have been more attractive to the college football consumer. But I still don't know how you're going to penalize teams like SMU. How are you going to penalize teams like Indiana if they are that successful during the regular season?
I would like to see just a caveat moving forward from the committee of you've got to have at least a top 30 win.
Okay.
You got to even be considered, you've got to have that. To incentivize teams that maybe are afraid of an unbalanced conference schedule like in Indiana. Well, let's go schedule a team at a conference that we feel like might be a top 30 team. Again, that might be unfair because teams can't control how the opponents do on their schedule. But I think if you haven't beaten a top 30 team, you don't deserve a chance at the national title.
Who was...
And in Indiana's
SMU's
case, they didn't beat
win?
a top 50 team.
No, I was going to say, they didn't have Miami.
SMU, you said?
Yeah, they didn't
Louisville.
They didn't have Miami on their schedule.
Louisville.
At the time, they beat number 18 Pittsburgh 48-25. They beat number 22 Louisville 34-27. So,
and Pittsburgh ended up being trash.
Yeah. That's another thing. Do you base it...
Like, when are they a top 30 team?
Well, and that's the best. I mean, do you base it on when you played them?
Right.
Where they were ranked when you played them? Or do you base it on where they're ranked
at the
close of the regular season?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I would do it at the close of the regular season, but, again, and maybe I'd put, like for SMU, put a caveat in that if you made it to your conference title game, then that goes away. But for a team like Indiana that did not, I mean, again, I think Indiana's best win was over a 5-loss Washington, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and Michigan had 6 losses.
I mean, to me, that you shouldn't be able to beat a bunch of 5-6 loss.
What if they went undefeated, though? Like, what if a team went undefeated without a top 30 win? Would you keep them out of a 12-team playoff?
Yeah.
That seems crazy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's the thing.
There's
I don't know if they are now,
9-3,
but they were at one point, I believe.
They beat them in overtime 28-27, but they weren't ranked at the time.
That game was crazy. SMU had 5 turnovers. Duke lined up to kick a game-winning field goal with, no time left, a chip shot, and missed it. And
they
lost
won their last 3. They beat NC State, Vatech, and Wake Forest. Of course, they're here for the Gator Bowl, but at 9-3, I got to imagine that they're in the top 25, so maybe they would have been credited for that. But again, I mean, we're kind of reaching here a little bit. Let's see. Duke, I don't see Duke. Duke had to be in the top 25, right? With a 9-3 record?
Maybe not.
I mean,
maybe they just got their 9th win the last game of the season. And
no, I see others receiving votes. They're 26, 20. They're 28th in the country.
Okay.
Right now. All right, we got much more to do with you tonight till 6 o'clock. It's great to have you with us.
English is their second language. Their native tongue is teal and black.
Let's go!
Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony bring you Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
10 to noon on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. If I know anything about the fall, it's hunting season, it's cooler weather. People need to get off-road. What have you got to offer?
We've got the full line of Honda ATVs, the Foreman, the Rancher. We've got the side-by-sides, the Pioneers, the Talons, everything you need to get off-road.
And you can trick them out with all sorts of extras?
If you name it, you want the loud stereo, you want the cool light bar, we got it.
All right, look online, cyclesofjacksonville.com, or head to the showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
Come to Monahan Jewelers' 47th annual holiday sale now with up to 30% off GIA certified diamonds and up to 40% off our entire store. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. We're not a big box store. We're your local family jeweler with an amazing hand-picked inventory for every budget, and with interest-free financing, enjoy beautiful jewelry with a low monthly payment. Support your local family jeweler this Christmas with up to 40% off our entire inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, open 7 days a week in December.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
Oh, Christmas.
I love this Christmassy time of year.
You know, at Christmas you stop to think about your friends.
Brought you a Christmas gift.
Merry Christmas from 1010XL.
This is what Christmas is all about.
May all your Christmases be bright.
The Golf Club of Southampton has plenty going on, from a great round to a round with your buds, soaking up some football and great grub. Every Saturday and Sunday at Southampton, enjoy their game day special. Wings tossed in your favorite sauce and a cold pitcher of beer. Membership opportunities to take advantage of, too. Join Southampton with a paid initiation, and you'll get a $500 gift card. Perfect for golf, pro shop purchases, or the clubhouse. Check it out. It's all happening at the Golf Club of Southampton.
I got the perfect holiday gift for you. At the Blue Crab House, you spend $50, you get a $65 gift card. $50 and you get $65. Bam, the pressure's off. Located right off of San Jose on Julington Creek Road, open every day until 9 except for Monday. Get rid of the stress of holiday shopping right now at the Blue Crab House. Spend $50 and get a $65 gift card. Only at the Blue Crab House.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here. Listen, I'm all about a sure thing. I like putting my money down knowing I'm going to win, and that's exactly what Awaken 180 was for me, a sure bet. I dropped 25 pounds in just over a month, and let me tell you, the results speak for themselves. Now imagine this. You start Awaken 180 now, and when February rolls around, you've already lost 20 pounds. Or maybe you're like Matt Hayes, down 40 pounds by March. And don't even get me started on Hacker. Dude's lost over 100 pounds. Life-changing results, and I got to see it firsthand. Awaken 180 isn't some gimmick. You eat, you're never starving, and the weight just comes off fast. No guesswork, no crash diets, just a plan that works. And the best part, it's built to last thanks to free support for life. Don't wait for another failed resolution. Start your new year with the program that is the sure bet. Visit Awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. Make sure this year is the year you win big with Awaken 180.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
Visionaries, builders, and doers. Are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
When you roll into a convenience store for some cold Bud Light, you want to make sure it's, well, cold. Check out the big coolers at Circle K. They make sure it's chilled and ready to go for the big game or party. Swing by Circle K and pick up some cold Bud Light.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows.
One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank NA, member FDIC.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's Christmas. Baby, please come home.
Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Alongside Hayes Carline and JJ LaSelva, I am Rick Ballou. Good to have you with us tonight till 6. Merry Christmas and Merry Christmas Eve. Tomorrow, for the first time ever, we have NFL games on Christmas. 4 playoff teams in the AFC. 1 o'clock on Netflix, the Chiefs at Steelers, and then at 4:30 on Netflix, the Ravens and the Texans. Anything stand out for you tomorrow in any one of these two games?
May I give you the craziest stat that I have seen in a while on the Kansas City Chiefs?
Mm-hmm.
They are 14-1, but 9th in the NFL in point differential at +78.
Wow. Yeah, they win every game by field goal.
Incredible?
Yeah. They find a way.
Talk about find a way as your philosophy. It is stunning to me. 14-1, but 9th in the NFL in point differential.
It's insane.
It is remarkable how Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Spags calling that defense. I mean, they'll block a field goal if they have to win a game. Whatever it takes, they'll get it done. And I have no doubt that they'll go into Pittsburgh and win the game by 2 points tomorrow.
My GF went to Texas Tech for 2 years, and then she's an Oklahoma grad, so she's got a ton of these quarterbacks that are all over the place with Murray and Baker and obviously Pat Mahomes. But she gets frustrated every week when she watches them, and I'm like, why? You know that it's going to win by a field goal. They're a very well-coached team. They're not nearly as dynamic offensively as they've been during this Super Bowl run. And you can make the case they dipped off a little bit, a year ago. But this team finds a way. And, I'm a non-betting guy, but I'm with you. If I was to bet this game tomorrow, I would, what is it, 2.5, 3 points?
That's what I would guess.
I would probably play Kansas City money line. And pay a little extra because they may win this game by 1 point.
Yeah,
2.5.
Yep,
2.5. Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I think it'll be right around there. And I like Pittsburgh. I mean, Mike Tomlin's done a sensational job. He deserves a lot of credit. But it's just it's unlike anything. I think even the Patriots, as dominant as that dynasty was, they would blow teams out, every so often. I mean, it wasn't just every week we're going to win by a field goal or less. I've never seen anything like it. You mentioned them last year. They won the Super Bowl with the worst receiving core in the NFL. And the second game will be good. I mean, Baltimore going to Texas or going to play the Texans in Houston. I like the Ravens there just because, I haven't been impressed really with Houston all year long. So I would think Baltimore is able to go in there and get a win. But it is 2 good games. I'm curious to see as well how Netflix handles it because, it's going to be a new kind of.
Well, remember the fight.
Right.
Yeah, the fight was a travesty with the buffering.
And I feel like this could be maybe not as many people, actually, just because it is Christmas. But imagine like one standalone NFL game, I feel like would probably have just as many, if not more, as the Tyson fight.
Yeah.
And do they have the bandwidth for a live broadcast? We do have a game on the 26th as well this year.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Seattle versus the Bears. I don't know if there's any playoff implications for that game.
Seattle, I think, is still in it, so they'll have to win. The Bears are obviously out. But if you're a Jaguar fan, pull for the Bears to get their 5th win. And then you don't have to worry so much about Chicago. And then you get 3 games on Saturday. So there's a Monday night game. So this week 17,
and a ton of college games on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean,
including a couple of good ones. Yeah, Miami, Ohio State, and now Alabama, Michigan on Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be great. So, but I can't remember an NFL week like week 17 is going to stretch over a 6-day span. It starts tomorrow and goes all the way till Monday night, where you've got a decent, you've got Detroit, which is at least, again, for us, you're locking in to watch Ben Johnson and to a lesser degree, Aaron Glenn. And they're playing San Francisco, who's out of it, but, at least is a brand. So.
Williams is out for the year now, too, the great left tackle.
Yeah.
Trent Williams.
Yeah.
Here's something I don't understand. And let me preface this by saying I almost never talk about individual awards. I do get into the Heisman a little bit after the fact because I'm a Heisman Trophy voter. But why is Josh Allen such an overwhelming favorite to win the MVP when I look at the numbers? Lamar Jackson, he's dwarfing him. 37 touchdowns for Jackson.
And I think he only has 4 picks.
Right, 26 for Allen, 4 picks for Jackson.
I think it's the Derrick Henry effect.
That's what it is.
6 for Josh Allen. Quarterback rating, 120.6. 120.6. Allen, 101.2. Is that the reason why?
I think so. I think it's there is also...
He's also rushed for 700 yards, Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson has been phenomenal. Without a doubt. And I'd have no problem with him winning it. But I think there's a couple things going against him. He's already won it twice. And so I think there's going to be some voters, and it's not necessarily fair, but I think there's going to be some voters that are like, can we really give this guy a third MVP when he's never done anything in the playoffs? Now, that shouldn't factor in, but I think it does. And then I also think the biggest reason that is the one JJ mentioned. I think people would say, well, what if you gave Josh Allen Derrick Henry or just took Derrick Henry off of the Ravens? How would Lamar Jackson fare? And it's a fair question.
And Josh Allen's surrounding cast this year has been very blah.
Absolutely.
Know?
James
if you
Cook's
watch the
played
Bills
well.
game, he's doing
everything.
He has 11 rushing touchdowns. But I do agree. I think the odds are out of whack. I agree with Rick. But before this week, so he's basically a minus 500 favor right now. You have to bet $5 to win 1. But before this weekend, last week, it was 9-1.
Oh, I know.
He was a huge favorite.
Yeah.
So Lamar slowly but surely is getting back into this thing. But if you think Lamar Jackson's going to win the MVP, bet it now because you can get 4-1 odds.
What are the odds on Mac Jones?
JJ's right. It's gone from minus 900 to minus 500 for Josh Allen. Then it is Lamar at plus 375. And then you get 16-1 odds for Saquon Barkley. So
he was in the talk for 1 week.
Oh.
People were talking about Saquon for
Running
MVP
backs
for a week or two. Yeah,
are never going to get the love in the NFL.
No.
You should just rename the MVP as the quarterback.
Which is,
award.
again, it's almost silly because they have the offensive player of the year, which never is the MVP. So it's almost become the MVP is the quarterback award. Offensive player of the year is the running back receiver award.
Yeah, the odds for the offensive player of the year, Saquon Barkley minus 1,500. I mean, you're laying $1,500 to win 100.
Yeah,
it's overwhelming. And then it's Derrick Henry, as you pointed out, 33-1. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Justin Jefferson, and then finally Josh Jacobs, who had another big game last night at Lambeau.
Saquon, yeah, he did. Saquon only needs 162 more for 2K. Averaging 5.9 yards a carry, as is Derrick Henry this year, and they both have 13 touchdowns. By the way, you mentioned last night, what Green Bay has become is really impressive, too. I mean, Josh Jacobs is incredible. They've got, kind of a grab bag of talented young receivers. But, Green Bay will be fun to see what they're able to do coming out of the wild card part of the NFC.
Yeah, playing there means so much, and that division is loaded. I mean, Detroit, Minnesota, each with 13 wins.
Incredible.
And Green
People are
Bay
like,
with
what
11.
are the Vikings going to do with Sam Darnold? What do you mean what are they going to do with Sam Darnold? You pay him.
Yeah.
That's what you do with Sam Darnold. You keep him. We don't let Sam Darnold go. J.J. McCarthy can be a backup for 3 more years.
You look at some of the reclamation projects, and I'm still going to put Jason Goff in there.
Jared.
Jared Goff, because he was given up on.
Absolutely.
And then you look at Sam Darnold.
By a smart coach in Sean McVay.
You look at Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, quarterback, maybe, it was Cousins until now he is officially benched, and obviously they paid him just a tremendous amount of money, but We don't see that too often in the NFL. Once you're done as a quarterback, there's a Kurt Warner story every once in a while, but for the most part, when you're done, you're done. And there's an example there of 3 quarterbacks who've been able to battle their way back. All right, final thoughts coming up here on the other side. Again, we're with you today until 6.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The NBA games on Christmas Day. The Knicks are home to face the San Antonio Spurs. New York, a 9.5-point home favorite, minus 425 on the money line. Spurs plus 320. Over under 226.5. The Dallas Mavericks, a 4.5-point home favorite over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Dallas minus 190. Minnesota plus 160. Over under in that contest, 224.5. Boston at home facing Philadelphia. The Celtics, a 9.5-point favorite over the Sixers, minus 425. Philadelphia plus 320. Over under 221.5. Then Golden State, a 4.5-point home favorite on Christmas Day against the LA Lakers. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a septic tank emergency.
Don't let your holidays go down the drain. Duck Duck Rooter's here to save your Christmas cheer. Whether it's a stubborn clog, a burst pipe, or a septic scare, we'll fix it faster than Santa can slide down a chimney. Duck Duck Rooter. Call us now and save the day. 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, because nobody wants a silent night in the bathroom.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Making a difference in our community for 2025, Paul Martinez here, President and CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida. The Boys and Girls Clubs offers a safe environment to youth every day with homework assistance, a hot meal, career readiness, and character and leadership programs. 57% of club alumni say the Boys and Girls Club saved their lives. Help us grow our outreach as we serve the kids in our community throughout our 59 clubs. Go to bgcnf.org to donate and learn more.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses an AI-driven tech to get you approved for cash in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start to the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you can be credit card debt-free. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, MLS, consumeraccess.org.
At what temperature is Fahrenheit equal to Celsius?
Southern Oak Insurance knows that you want to save money on your homeowner's insurance. So why not try some old-fashioned common sense? Ask your Southern Oak agent about our roof replacement schedule. It will save you money.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
At 40 degrees below zero, the temperature is the same in Fahrenheit and Celsius. Why? It takes too long to explain.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carlyon for MyBookie. While other books make promises, MyBookie delivers. This holiday season, they're stacking the deck in your favor with 12 days of Christmas now through the 31st, a festive lineup of can't-miss opportunities for bettors to cash in. Risk-free Thursdays, super boosts, and free bets. Weekly casino giveaways with hundreds of winners and thousands in cash prizes. All it takes is a 50-cent spin on BetSoft slots to enter. With the road to New Orleans, bowl games galore, and a Christmas Day sports feast featuring NFL action and an NBA doubleheader, this is your season to win. The 12 Days of Christmas event is live right now. Lock in today. Use my code 1010XL with your first deposit, and MyBookie will give you a little extra to start your holiday hot. MyBookie is offering a 50% deposit bonus for 1010XL listeners. Just sign up and use promo code 1010XL. There's a reason MyBookie has been the go-to for serious bettors for 10 years. Make your holiday season a jolly one with MyBookie.
When it comes to towing products, your safety on the road is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Whether it's a heavy-duty tow hitch, trailer frame, wiring, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com to explore a range of products and schedule your installation. Cannons of Jacksonville, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Truck drivers. Without them, our economy would stop. They're constantly racing against time, struggling against exhaustion, and being put under enormous pressure from their bosses, the big trucking companies. This can be a major reason for an accident. Discovering who's at fault can be difficult. We can help. Put our big truck experience to work for you. Call Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
A change on the Jaguars defense that still puzzles Jeff Lageman.
My biggest question that I really haven't understood going all the way back to the offseason was the decision to make a top tackler in the National Football League change positions, which Foye Oluokun has been literally the leading tackler in the National Football League for the last 3 years, maybe 4 years, maybe 5 years. And to move him out of the Mike position and to not have him in front of the huddle with the green dot at times, it's like, wait a minute, why would you do that? And that was very curious to me.
Jeff Lageman on Jaguars Today with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update. I'm Andrew Gibson.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Well, the reports are this. Santa Claus has just about wrapped up everything in other countries, and he's headed this way.
Sweet.
All right, so all you little boys and girls, listen to your mom and dad.
That's right.
Make sure you get some winks tonight. So
yes,
Santa can eat your cookies and drink your milk. He crushes milk. I've never met anyone who drinks milk like Santa.
Oh, it's incredible.
He just pounds it. And make sure you get to bed. Listen to your mom and dad so you can get up tomorrow morning, have a great time opening up gifts.
Put out some carrots for the reindeer if you can.
Yep.
And enjoy the magic.
Love Christmas Eve. So, again, you go ahead and do a party.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. And, JJ, you're on your way to Ocala.
I am, so if you guys see me in the forest, get to the right. I'm passing your ass.
I'm on my way to the Blue Crab House. I'll be the guy wearing the ugly Miller Lite sweater. But I'm going to have a heck of a lot of fun. Hey, we'll talk with you Friday, 4 to 6. We're off tomorrow, and we're off Thursday. Hayes, have a great couple of days.
Merry Christmas, you guys.
Merry Christmas to you, JJ. Folks, be safe out there. And again, have a fantastic Christmas. We'll talk to you again Friday from 4